welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jordan and I'm going to review The Idol for you. Why am I reviewing The Idol? It has been such a hot topic on the internet right now. It's really controversial and I'm getting people who say that they really like it, but most people are saying that they don't. Everybody has such a uniform opinion on this show. I have to watch it. I have to see if what everybody is agreeing on is true. I'm gonna go over the very first episode of The Idol and I'm just gonna run through it and give my thoughts on whether you guys should watch it or not, because if you're watching this, maybe you haven't watched it. There's gonna be spoiler alerts, but maybe you're watching it because you don't want to sit through that. And let me tell you, it was hard to sit through this. I didn't even sit through all the way. I actually paused it a lot of the time and then went off into something else. So I'm giving you my best summary of. We start off with the main character, Jocelyn, going through different facial expressions, going through different emotions, crying on cue when she was asked, which is a little crazy, a little problematic. I wouldn't want to be at work crying because, I've worked in a terrible work environment and I was crying during work, so I can't imagine crying after work as well. After this scene where we see Jocelyn, crying on cue, we see her manager go on this long rant about how mental illness is sexy. She's saying that, Jocelyn is unique. She is this girl like that you don't find everywhere in the country. And many guys basically would love to be with her, but in order for Jocelyn to fuck the average guy, she has to have some sort of mental illness. And again, yeah, this is why they think mental illness is sexy, which kind of just doesn't make sense to me and just made me feel like they wanted a reaction like as soon as the episode started, because how is it going to go to being problematic right away? It's giving sus. It's giving we're getting baited into this reaction, in my opinion. But after the fact, to have Jocelyn's manager confirm this and support this idea of this other lady is kind of shocking. To have this guy who's also supposed to be Jocelyn's manager just confirm what she's saying, and then to have the very long pause at the end of her monologue, and then have, I don't know, that was just the cherry on top for me. And they really did think they ate, but they weren't contributing any important dialect. That was just something completely random. In the very next scene, we see titties right away, and you know what, that was really shocked. I did forget that this is an HBO show and that we see titties in HBO show. I've seen Game of Thrones, I love Game of Thrones, but it's giving that Game of Thrones energy. The first season where you see his titties everywhere, every other second you see a titty. This is giving very much the same type of vibe. Obviously, Game of Thrones is good, amazing, so don't come for Game of Thrones. This is just giving a lot of nudity for no reason. In this very next scene, we see Jocelyn still modeling nude for these photos for the photographer. And we see that the intimacy coordinator is talking to the director saying, hey, it's okay if she wants to do these shots, but we need to redo the contract. It'll be done in like 2 days. And we see that Jocelyn's getting mad by the situation. We see her manager getting mad by the situation. But the thing that gets me is that this could have been a deeper conversation. This could have been a learning situation for everyone who is watching this, but it just seems like they're trying to show that this is annoying, like the guy who's doing his job is a nuisance, because why else would they make this whole scene of this manager belittling the person who is doing his job very well and then lock him inside the bathroom and pay somebody to hold him there? Like come on, that's not even a good script. That's not even like a good plot line. It just didn't even need to be included. It didn't add to the story. You just educated us on what this intimacy coordinator is and then said it's not important. So good job for that. And then I had another thought when I was rewatching this scene, and I was like, maybe they're trying to show how managers are within the industry. But then I was thinking, and I'm like, no, they literally had Jocelyn go up and complain that, you know, it's her body, like it's her choice type things. But I mean, they're just trying to follow procedures, and that's not happening. So to me, it fell flat. There was no real commentary on the issue. It was just, again, not needed. The very next scene, we see Jocelyn's management team, her friend, and everyone reacting to this new photo that just came out about her. And let me just say, I can't even, like, the photo just shows something on her face and it being explicit, and I'm pretty sure you can use your brain of what I'm talking about, but they see it, they're informed about it, but they're not telling Jocelyn about this incident that happened. So if that was me, I would be really upset. Like, my management team, you can't hide nothing from me. You need to tell me in the moment when you find out something. Because for me, I was like, how is this realistic? We live in the age where everybody has a phone. I know even if her phone's not there, there could be someone else in there, an assistant helping with the photo shoot, the photographer. You know, we all get those Apple News notifications. I would have saw that TMZ just dropped this, you know, this hot new tea on this super famous person. Just a little bit unrealistic. And then in the next scene, we see the dance scene where Jocelyn's struggling with it. So they had her friend Diana go in and she just ate. She ate. It was the best part of the show. Like, there's just something about the way that she just owned that dance that I love. And then of course Jocelyn did it again, and yeah, it was okay, but it was just nothing on the level of Diana. Okay, and then we have, you know, her managers going and talking to her about the situation and of the nude photo leaking, and they're trying to figure out all the different ways that they can spin this for Jocelyn in her favor. And when they tell her, she has such a lack of a reaction, saying like, oh, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't really care, or I really don't care. Not exact words, but that's the vibe that she was giving. I think the funniest part was that they were saying, which is in this statement, which is kind of true in ways, that she's coming out of this more famous than when she was going in, saying that this scandal is just going to make her the next Kim Kardashian, which is really funny because they really did compare this situation to Kim Kardashian, and I always thought the hoe to celebrity little pipeline has always been funny in the little different ways that people get to that point in their life. We get a scene where Jocelyn is talking to her bestie about whether she really likes the song or not. And of course, Jocelyn's bestie is hyping her up, saying that she really likes the song and that she always gets this way when she's about to release a new song. The thing is though, when they are talking about this, the conversation turns into a hard line into, I think I'm going to invite Testro over. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Testro is what I'm going to call him, which is The Weeknd's character, which is really problematic. What I did skip was the club scene that happened where they met. It was not even that relevant or interesting. It wasn't, in my opinion, a big plot point in this show that doesn't really have a lot of, at least in the first episode, plot points. It's just a blob of blah. Like, it's just blah. But the conversation turns into a hard line to, I think I'm gonna invite Testra over, and then her friend letting her know, I kind of don't like him. His vibe's kind of rapey. And Jocelyn says, I kind of like that. Man, who wrote this? Like, who wrote this? Because there's no way in hell that if my friend said that, oh, I don't really like him, he's giving me like a rapey vibes, like, I'm not gonna be around that person. I'm gonna take what they're saying into consideration. And anyone who's watching this, I mean, they really are trying to make The Weeknd an unlikable character in this like story in this show. But I just feel like it's just coming off really cringe. Like, when I see that Weeknd, I just see The Weeknd. I don't see his character. I see him playing a part, which I feel like just makes his acting extra cringe. Maybe they would have had a chance if this was a different actor, if this was somebody that was a random and this was one of their first breakout parts. You know, they could have played this part really well, probably got critically acclaimed for it. But since this is The Weeknd, there's no way that he's going to get that recognition. Not only that, he doesn't deserve that recognition because it's not like he was a Lady Gaga like in The Star Is Born. He's not a Beyonce like in Obsessed. Like, he just doesn't give off that super, like, you know what? You know what? Let's not even blame this on just the actor. It's the writing of the show as well. The story is trash. The character that he is playing is trash. This character that those two played in their movies were likable characters. They were good characters. In A Star Is Born, yeah, she's playing someone who turns into a superstar like Lady Gaga is, but at least she didn't look like Lady Gaga in the show. The Weeknd again looks like The Weeknd. That little ponytail is not disguising what The Weeknd looks like. I mean, his hair was basically like that in the past. Not like that, but I think you get what I'm saying. As he's walking into Jocelyn's house, he really has like the nerve to kiss her friend on the lips without consent. Like, boy, like, first of all, your breath probably smells like, don't ever just do that unsolicited. Like, who are you? Like, we just said that you have rapey vibes and you're just gonna come kiss me. That's just gonna confirm that you give those type of vibes. But again, when he walks in and looks at the camera and then like it's trying to foreshadow something, it's just giving me Predator vibes and just cringe. But what's really cringe is this next scene where they're sitting down drinking, talking about, you know, their song. Jocelyn says this line that says, when you are famous, everybody lies to you, and you know, you might just be enough of an asshole to tell me the truth. Like, girl, your best friend, you won't even take your best friend's advice, but you're gonna freaking take this guy who you just met at the club's advice or seek his validation for some reason. It's just screaming toxicity for me. Like, pause, get away from me. I'm glad that our friendship is over because you are a toxic person. But yeah, then they have a couple of drinks. They're hanging out in the studio. Jocelyn plays this song for Petros, and he asked her, is this going to be the first song that you're releasing since your mother died? And she says yes, and then it just, again, another hard line into a basically sex scene, and I just don't understand how you go from talking about your dead mom straight into that. But basically it just turns into him putting a robe over her head, cutting, you know, the hole in her mouth, opening and spreading it, and saying like, you can sing now. And that's when the episode ends. And I'm like, what a lackluster way to end a show. Like, seriously? That's not gonna make anybody come back and watch the show. It didn't make me want to come back and watch the show. It just made me be like, oh, like that could have been a short film. A short film with not a lot of substance, of course, because this really was like, for me to explain this show is so much happened without anything really happened. You know, usually when you watch the first episode of a new series, a good series, that first episode is going to make you want to come back and watch again. But that is not the case in this show, and honestly, I would stay clear of it. I haven't even decided if I want to continue watching this show, but honestly, the internet's buzzing on it. It's pretty interesting in that aspect. And then the backstory behind it just makes me want to cover it. So we never know. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll have some more videos out about this topic. And like, comment, and subscribe.